Hey everybody, Adrian Nelson here. I hope that you're doing absolutely fantastic. For those of you that don't know me, I'm a regression hypnosis practitioner. I'm a psychic medium, Reiki master, crystal healer, numerologist, astrology student, NLP practitioner, life coach. Studied CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, and a number of other things. Not the point of the actual recording. So some of you may or may not know that I do weekly readings on my YouTube channel, AHN Great Life. And this week specifically, I've had a lot of people that were asking me, how do you ground? How do you protect your energy? How do you make sure that you're okay, that you don't get psychic attacks and those sort of things? So that has been coming up quite a lot. So before I go into how to protect yourself from that, let's just quickly define sort of what all of that really entails, because I am a very strong believer in not just fixing problems, but also preventing problems. And obviously, knowledge is power, all right? So the thing to remember is that we as human beings, same like everything else on this planet, are energetic beings. We are technically starseeds, and I mean, look how gorgeous we are showing up as starseeds. Um, but with us being energetic beings, energy obviously can't really be created or be destroyed, but it can be altered, it can be changed. And because we've got free will and we have got our sort of inner guidance system, which is sort of like our emotions and those sort of things, whatever we sort of focus upon is what we also draw into our experience of life. Our emotions is really what you can almost think of having a plate and then going to a buffet and then choosing what you want to have from that buffet. Whatever you focus upon, like flips, pops onto your plate. So um, a lot of times in this world, we sometimes focus quite significantly on things that we don't actually want to have. Now, obviously, at this particular point in time where we are in the world right now, things are really just not that easy. Things are very, very overwhelming in many, many, ways and shapes and forms. And so because it's almost impossible not to focus on what's happening on the world at the moment, because all of us are so greatly affected, financially, emotionally. Many of us are concerned about our health, especially I would say those who's got maybe elders that's in their care, or like parents, grandparents, children, maybe partners, spouses, family members, friends, close relatives that have to go out to work and travel and all those type of things. It's normal for us to have those concerns, you know, but after a period of time, that energy can become very heavy. It's like, when you, now I'm obviously not encouraging this, but when you say you're doing the dishes, and you don't have like a food processor, you just got like a normal drain, and every now and then we just pop a couple of rice, like little bits of rice down the drain, which is nothing. But over a period of nothing between inverted commas, but over a period of time, that drain gets blocked and it maybe gets smelly, and all that sort of things, backflush and whatever. And that's how it is with our energy sometimes, and so it's normal for many of us to feel very stuck at the moment. I personally focus very strongly on maintaining my energy, especially within my home space, within my living space. I practice feng shui. I practice what I call conscious living. So it's not just about sort of like what you do with your mind and spirituality and those things, but also what do you surround yourself with, your home, your work, your car. It should be your sanctuary to the best of your ability. Okay, always try to do it, even if you just put up a nice picture that maybe reminds you of a nice time. It's like when people go to war back in the olden days, and goodness forbid that we have to go to war, get in prison, but they would take a photograph of the person that they love, of their dog, of their parents, of their farm, of their whatever, because it's a reminder of happier times when you are surrounded by really a whole lot of crap that's happening around you, and we can't really change the world. because the world in itself is a living entity and being on its own, planet Earth. It's a living consciousness. It's a larger cycle, and we are just sort of like a cycle within the cycle, Whereas we obviously get others like our animals and our plants and whatever cycles within our cycles, and some cycles are longer and some cycles are shorter. But you can change how you experience what is happening. And first and foremost, when we come from the point where we can somehow open ourselves to the idea that the universe wants you to win and wants you to be successful and wants you to be happy and wants the greatest good for you. Because remember, we are really an expression of possibility. Because, at some point, uh, in physicality, I didn't exist and you didn't exist. But then, two parts came together, two tiny parts, like literally an egg and a sperm cell got together, and there was you. And some of you may or may not know this, but what is really amazing is that the moment the egg is like your mother's egg, the moment it is sort of made that connection with the sperm cell, what actually happens is that the whole thing lights up. It's almost like fireworks. The whole thing sort of just lights up and literally light up, because it's almost like an electric spark. Like in our brain, there's like semi-electric sparks as well. We are basically glorified, beautiful machines in a sense, but we are energy, and so there is that spark, like electricity is energy. There's that spark of new life that is sparking about new possibility, and you develop from that to what you are right now. And a lot of us, we also carry from our parents a lot of heaviness and things sometimes, in the same way we carry good stuff. So, um, what we want to focus on where we are right now is to really sort of protect our energy and balance our energy. But the thing to remember, which is very important, is that a lot of the overwhelm and the challenges that we are experiencing at the moment, um, is really challenges and overwhelm that has actually been with us for quite a while. A lot of our patterning, our non-serving patterning, has been laying dormant within our mind for the longest of time, and we weren't even aware of it. And so now a lot of those things are basically coming up. As we put it, that it's being activated, or sort of like a ping, that sort of thing, reminding us of things in this lifetime and of other lifetimes. For those of you that are interested in other lifetimes, I am a regression hypnosis practitioner, very proud of it, absolutely amazing. But a lot of times when you do past life regression, you may be like a lady and you go back to the consciousness as a man or something like that. But what it is that your consciousness goes back to the point where the passion, the pattern, the core initiator actually originated from. Because even though we've got different bodies, and we're born and we die and that sort of thing, our consciousness is forever existing. Consciousness doesn't doesn't come into existence when we're born and leave existence when we are no longer here. The allness of who we are, the oneness of who we are, the expression of possibility of who we are is always constantly there. It's never not there. It's because then it's almost like we are never there. And obviously, also, for example, when somebody dies, for example, they become physically lighter because that energy spark, the magic in a sense, leaves the corpse basically, to continue onwards, not to just kind of like poof in the middle of nowhere and never to be again. It's in the same way, for example, if you, let's say you put water in a pot, and you make a fire underneath the pot, and then you heat it up and it starts to boil, and you take off that lid and you see that steam going up into the air. Even though we soon stop seeing the steam, it doesn't mean that the actual steam is gone, that the water's gone. We're just not able to see it, But it keeps on being there. Maybe it condensates, maybe it comes a cloud, maybe it comes the rain tomorrow, it goes into the ocean, water, rivers, whatever. And so, in that same way, we never really cease to be. We always are. It's just that sometimes, we can physically be perceived within this sort of reality of earth physicality where we are, and sometimes we can't be. That's really all that it is, and that is also, for example, when, say, maybe I connect with somebody who in your family who passed away, or you yourself, mediumship connection, that sort of thing. I think sometimes we think that, you're going way up there and you're connecting to the consciousness over there, and but everything is just here and everything is just now. And just because, or let's rather say, whether you have a body or not, doesn't mean you're more you or less you. You're always just you, you know? And but in physicality, in human form, our body consists mostly of water, or largely of water. And water is a highly changeable structure. And that is how something like crystal healing, for example, works, because the crystals give out a energy output that stays the same way and the water absorbs that all. When you do Reiki, for example, it's about Reiki healing. I call it Reiki balancing because there's really nothing to heal. You perceive yourself to not be 100% balanced, which can happen quite easily because human life is not that easy on earth. But the Reiki practitioner, in essence, um, acknowledges the perfection that you already are. And that is what brings the energy balance about. So that is a good one for you to start with as well. To come from the point that I am already perfect, I am already balanced, I am already good, I am already divine. The universe wants me to be successful. I'm an expression of source, I'm an expression of possibility. I have the capability to express even more, through physical, sort of like creation of life children, that sort of thing. But also to how you tend to life, the decisions that you make, tending to a plant, tending to an animal, the love that we give to each other, the respect that we give to each other, all of that contributes to a greater world. um, but if you're feeling overwhelmed, a wonderful way to really balance your energy or ground your energy, what we call grounding, is to imagine that there are roots going from the soles of your feet all the way into the earth, grounded by the earth. Something that's really beautiful with that as well, you may or may not know that trees are constantly communicating with one another. And one of the biggest ways with which trees communicate with one another is, yes, on the top of their branches and those things, obviously energy and stuff like that, but also their roots are connected and intertwined and sort of like become one in a way. It's almost like a constant hug. And you can imagine when you grow your roots into the earth that you're also connecting with the trees and you're connecting with the plants and you're connecting with that peaceful kindness that lets you know that you're going to be okay. Another one that you can imagine, if you want to, you can almost imagine that there's, like, this is what I like to do. I breathe into my heart space all that I'd like to breathe in: love, kindness, whatever and whoever represents to me stability, beautiful kindness. And this could be your, you know, angels, guardians, guides, God, source, spirit guides, whatever you see as as positivity, love and light. Or even just how you felt when you were younger, maybe like your mother or whoever significant maybe hugged you or made you feel very good at a time. Think of a time that you maybe felt sorry, very confident, very happy, very fulfilled, when the world was just beautiful, when the moment was just beautiful. um, Kind of think of that and breathe that into your heart space until you really feel the sense of content. And it's also really wonderful if you physically take your hand and just place it upon your body. Maybe feel your heartbeat, feel the rate of your pulse, feel the rate of your, whatever you call these things here in your throat that are pumping blood on the sides of your head. There is a consciousness within you that is making you work, that is making your body work. We don't really think of breathing and our cells regenerating and any of those things until they stop doing that. That is only really when we start thinking about those things. But there's a consciousness that whether we are aware of it or not, whether we acknowledge it or not, whether we choose to work with it or not work with it, it still works for our greatest benefit. Now imagine if you can consciously really open yourself to that, like your life can just become so beautiful. All right. And then, so once you have this beautiful sense within your heart, what you can also imagine is that every drop of blood that flows through your heart is filled with this beautiful light. So give your body that contentment, that peace, and that love. There's almost sense of serenity and protection. And then you can even take a step further and you can protect your aura. So when you do that body thing, that is normally also it beautifully balances your own energy, like your chakras basically. Um, your energy centers normally, and then even taking a nice deep breath in and just appreciating that breath, you know, even giving gratitude for the fact that the sun came up, or if it's a very cloudy day, you might not be able to see the sun, but you know that it's there. Okay. And then what you can also do is once you're in your heart space, you feel all content and beautiful in your body, bringing the consciousness back to the heart space, and then imagining that there's light that's expanding from the heart space all the way around you. So you find yourself inside of this bubble or the circle of light, and seeing this as your circle of protection, which is a wonderful way to cleanse your aura, the energetic space around you. And again, coming from the space of understanding that your physical body is a representation of all of who you are, of your aura, of your energy, of your connection. Okay. And whatever your body sort of vibration state is at the moment, that is the message that is sent out into the universe. So even when you do these practices, beautiful things can start coming into your life because you are changing your vibration. It doesn't always have to be that difficult and over the top. And yes, obviously, I'm a Reiki practitioner, I'm a teacher, I'm a crystal healer, I'm a regression hypnosis practitioner. I teach a lot of these things in a lot of my coaching. If you're on YouTube, you'll see down below there's my tarot reading course. I teach it over there because it's important to protect your energy if you're going to work with universal energies. You really want to, because you shine up like a light, and you sort of, it's almost like you go like, whoa, you're like all energy in the universe goes like that. You're like a flashlight that suddenly goes up in the night, you know and you attract attention. You are like that bright shining star on the top of the Christmas tree. There's all the beautiful fairy lights, but it's normally that star on top of the tree, or the angel, or whatever you use, or whatever analogy that's sort of similar to a Christmas tree, that captures all that information. And when you start to light up in the universe, you draw a lot of attention. And whilst a lot of people are very into fighting the dark and you know declaring war on the dark side and those sort of things, here's the thing. When you've got okay, I'm going to go into this. So when you've got say maybe what we often refer to as the energetic attachment, the negative attachment, the thing to understand is that at some point in time, your energy, your vibrational alignment was conducive for that energy to attach to you. You were on the same vibe, on the same spark. So instead of trying to fight anything, when we work at raising our vibration, then you are just no longer an energetic match for that. So when you imagine yourself surrounded by this light, what you can do is you can be very clear, and this is something to understand. It's very important to understand this with psychic things, because I know that you look on television and you see all kinds of, funny things like The Conjuring and those sort of things. Sorry. But you can decide what energy you are prepared to channel and what energy you're not prepared to channel. You are the gatekeeper. You get to decide. Okay, because you are the channel. But sometimes, and I see this a lot, so I do mind unlocking coaching and psychic development. But the thing is, with psychic development, we already naturally psychic. We it's as normal as breathing, really. But through years and through pain and through burning the witches and the Roman Catholics suppressing the practice of sort of like natural things like Wicca and all those horrible things that have been made so terrible. And I mean, simple historic facts. The Constantine and his dudes, they sort of took half the Bible away, reconstructed the whole thing around to serve their purpose. Does that mean that I don't have respect for the Bible? Most definitely not. I've got the utmost respect for all Holy Scripture. I most definitely do. I'm simply stating a fact. There is a lot of fear that has gone along with a lot of things. And even though a lot of those things happened a long time ago, remember you are an ongoing consciousness. And until you've maybe done some shadow work, some deep inner work, some shamanic work, maybe, dark night of the soul gone through, inner child healing, maybe had a regression hypnosis session, which is what I do, until that consciousness has received clear communication that you no longer need to maintain this pattern, be afraid of it, run away from it, it's going to keep on being there. And a lot of what we're experiencing in the world at the moment is activating those patterns. All right. So, what I would recommend is welcoming into your space all the support, all the love, and the kindness. And as you breathe in and as you breathe out, imagining that this wall around you is a space through which you can decide what you let in and what you don't let in. As you breathe out, having the willingness to release all of that which is not serving your greatest purpose, all of that which is not, of the light, that is not serving you beneficially right now, that which you consciously know and also that which you're not consciously aware of, you know. So that is definitely something that I will do. And as I said, obviously in my mind unlocking coaching, it's an 8-week course, so it's a lot longer than this. I really go into details how to cleanse your energy, how to activate that dormant potential within your DNA. Did you know that as human beings, of the billions and billions and billions of possibilities that we have, we use less than 1% of our ability, of our capability, of our mind, of our brain. We've got a blueprint right within ourselves, a birthright within ourselves to shine. There's so much that we can do. But there's so many layers on top of us that we believe that we are at the mercy of this person and this power that be and that power that be. But when you really unlock your magic, oh my goodness. Another wonderful way to quickly protect your energy, which is also grounding, because the moment we ground, we connect to the earth. And the earth is our host, the earth is our mother, the earth wants to protect us. Is to imagine that there's a golden block. I got this one from Colette Baron Reed. There's a golden the amazing oracle card creator. You've got this block of gold at the bottom of your spine. Take a nice deep breath and then just drop it into the earth, into that solid groundness of the earth. Okay, you can even imagine yourself connecting to the crystal realm, because remember, all crystals are in the earth already, and crystals, I imagine, were here before us. You know, so in a sense, the crystals are our ancestors. You know, and crystals are all these energies. And remember, I said to you that we can absorb all those energies. So you can imagine yourself tapping into the earth in the crystal realm and welcoming the energy that you need. Just because you're not physically holding the crystal doesn't mean that you're not connecting to the energy. All right, or you got a piece of crystal, you can still connect to the crystal realm. We perceive ourselves to be different from things, but we are not. We're part of everything. Something that I like to imagine is myself being a drop of water in the whole ocean, free floating, wee type of thing, free willy vibes. Um, because then the way that I think about it is that, okay, so bad things may happen in this world. A lot of times you speak about bad things happening to good people and random and whatever. But if you are one drop of water in the entire ocean, the chance of something randomly coming your way that is bad, sort of slim, very slim. And when you can imagine yourself being surrounded by so much good, then even when something bad does hit you, you are surrounded by so much support. All you need to do is open yourself to that. I love walking around outside with my feet on the grass. I don't really like wearing shoes. I grew up in the country. So that's a wonderful way to do it. Something else which works really great is that if you shower, you take a bath, you imagine that it washes anything away from you that is not of the best positive light. You maybe go to the ocean. You can imagine that the waves that are rolling towards you is abundance that's rolling towards you, and you feel sort of like the sand or gravel, whatever, rolling out underneath your feet. Imagine that being problems, troubles, concerns rolling away from you. Maybe you can do the same with the river. It comes and it sort of like floats across your feet, brings abundance and washes away what you don't need. So there's many ways to really do that. A wonderful way is also, one of my favorites, is hugging a tree, connecting with nature. Right, so there are so many ways that you can do it, um, and it really all comes down to connecting with nature, meditating. You know, just sitting outside and just looking at the stars or the sun, feeling the wind on your skin. We're so running through life to get here and to get there and to get there that we often forget to experience life. Okay, and in order to experience life, you need to become silent and really just feel life. And I think I will leave you with a decision that I made. I can't remember. I think I was 22 or 23, but I remember the moment very clearly. I must have been 24 because I just came back to Cape Town. Anyway, I remember the moment very clearly that I decided, when I die, whether I get a deathbed or I get to see myself, there afterwards after I die, that I don't want to have any regrets in this life, in the sense that I don't want to let the moments pass me by. I don't want to be so cautious that I don't follow my heart's desires, and that I don't embrace life, and that I don't cherish life, and I don't experience life. Because I've got a theory, and I think my theory is that I think as souls, one of the reasons why we incarnate so many times back into this planet is because we leave and you look back and you're like, oh wow, I could have done more with that. I kind of wasted that, you know. Um, and that's what I got for you. I hope that it helps. I'd really appreciate your comments. If you like this sort of material, I can make lots of these videos. I just never really realized that there was such a big demand for it. But if you'd like me to, I am more than happy to do these sort of videos for you. And from my heart, namaste, love and light.